There is a conversation the home security industry consistently avoids having with the fastest-growing segment of the residential population. The 38 million Americans over the age of 65 who live alone, who live in homes they have occupied for decades, and who represent, in the cold calculation of criminal targeting, a demographic that combines perceived physical vulnerability with perceived accumulated wealth. The industry avoids this conversation not because the information does not exist, but because the information it would have to give does not fit neatly into a product category. The answer to home security for seniors is not a single device. It is a layered system of decisions, modifications, habits, and tools that work together. And honestly, the most important layers cost nothing at all. Criminals who target residential properties are making rational assessments of risk versus reward. Age is a factor in that assessment only if it is also a visible factor. A home that reads as occupied by someone alert, prepared, and connected to neighbors and systems reads as a harder target regardless of the age of the person inside it. The first objective of senior home defense is to make your home read as a hard target. Everything that follows serves that objective. Start at the perimeter, because that is where the decision happens. An intruder decides whether to attempt your home before they ever reach your door. Deadbolts on every exterior door, not the standard builder-grade locks that come installed in most residential construction, which can be defeated with a single firm kick against the door frame, but high-quality deadbolts with reinforced strike plates secured by 3-inch screws that anchor into the structural framing rather than the thin door casing. Sliding glass doors require a cut-to-fit security bar in the track. A $5 piece of hardwood or an $8 commercially made bar eliminates the vulnerability of the latch mechanism entirely. Steel security screen doors on primary entry points add a physical delay layer that most intruders, who are optimizing for speed and ease, will not want to negotiate. The Hitalarcam 2K wireless security cameras in the description address the visibility layer that matters most in the pre-contact phase. At up to 6 months of battery life, two-way audio and AI motion detection with spotlight and siren capability. These cameras do two things simultaneously. They record everything that happens at your entry points, and they communicate to anyone approaching that the property is monitored and that their presence is being documented. That communication alone redirects a significant percentage of opportunistic targeting. Links are in the description. These have been moving fast and for good reason. Do not settle for a lesser brand when your safety is the variable. Motion sensor lighting under every eave, covering every approach to the property, front, sides, and back, eliminates the darkness that conceals an approach and signals to any neighbor or passing vehicle that movement is occurring at your property at an unusual hour. Light is one of the most powerful deterrents available at any price point, and solar-powered motion sensor lights require no electrician, no wiring, and no ongoing cost beyond the initial installation. The Aurora are biometric smart guns, safe in the description, fingerprint access, wireless charging, compact bedside design, is the answer to the specific challenge seniors face with firearm storage. How to keep a defensive firearm accessible within seconds while ensuring it cannot be accessed by visiting grandchildren or anyone else without authorization. Biometric access removes the combination, the key, the memorized sequence that stress and age can complicate. Your fingerprint is always with you. The safe opens in under 2 seconds. Link is in the description. Inside the home, the safe room concept is the most important structural decision a senior living alone can make, and it requires no construction, no renovation, and no significant expense. Identify the room in your home with the strongest door, ideally a solid core door rather than the hollow interior doors used in most residential construction. Install a deadbolt on the interior of that door. Stock that room with 3 things: a fully charged mobile phone, a means of self-defense appropriate to your comfort and capability, and the knowledge of exactly what to call and say when you dial 911. That room is your sanctuary. Everything else in your home can be replaced. What happens in that room cannot be undone. The communication plan that surrounds that safe room matters as much as the room itself. Keep a charged phone on your nightstand every night. Not across the room, not in another room, on the nightstand within arm's reach of where you sleep. Program a short list of emergency contacts accessible without reading glasses in low light. Know your address precisely and be able to state it clearly under stress, because adrenaline degrades recall in ways that most people do not anticipate until they experience it. Practice saying your address out loud. It sounds trivial, it is not. For those who prefer alternatives to firearms, and this is not a lesser choice, it is just a different choice that deserves honest engagement, heavy flashlights serve dual functions as illumination and as impact instruments, without requiring any special storage or licensing. Tactical pens are small, always accessible, and provide a focused point of force that does not depend on upper body strength to be effective. A solid wooden cane is not just a mobility aid. In the hands of someone who has thought about how to use it, it is a capable defensive instrument with reach advantages over an empty-handed confrontation. The Purple Dragon kukri knife with full tang handle in the description is a fixed blade option that is accessible, intimidating, and honestly requires no special training to be effective as a deterrent. Link is in the description. The behavioral habits that cost nothing and, frankly, matter as much as every physical modification combined. Check every door and window lock every night before sleep, not as a neurotic ritual, but as a 30-second routine that eliminates the single most common point of easy entry, which is an unlocked door that no one remembered to lock. Never open your door to an unverified stranger. Use the peephole. If you do not have a peephole, install one for $12. If someone claims to represent a utility company or a government agency, call the agency directly before opening the door. The number from the phone book, not the number they give you. Know your neighbors. This is the home security recommendation that appears last in every list and, honestly, receives the least attention, and it is among the most protective factors available to a senior living alone. A neighbor who knows your routines, who notices when your car has not moved or your lights have not come on, who has your phone number and uses it when something looks wrong. That neighbor is a surveillance and response system that no camera or alarm can replicate. Build that relationship before you need it. Daily physical maintenance. Whatever form is appropriate and safe for your specific health situation contributes to the speed and decisiveness of response in an emergency in ways that are difficult to quantify but impossible to dismiss. Strength, balance, and cardiovascular capacity all affect your ability to move quickly to a safe room, to hold a defensive posture, to manage the physiological effects of adrenaline on your body. Invest in the physical capacity to execute your plan, not just the plan itself. The goal of every layer in this system is the same: to make a potential intruder decide before contact that your home is not worth it, and to give you every possible advantage in the event that decision is not made. Avoidance is the best outcome. Preparation for when avoidance fails is the second best outcome. Neither happens by accident.